heavy snow. And now today the temperature is gonna plummet. And whatever doesn't get moved around is gonna get frozen to a block. Most people are out digging and trying to deal with what they didn't get done with yesterday, because yesterday it snowed and then it just kept it didn't give you a break long enough to get anything achieved. It just kept kind of dumping through the day. It'd warm up enough to make it messy and dump some snow, and I find that to be the hardest kind of snow to move around. It's heavier, it clumps together. If you're using like a snow push or like a plow shovel, you only get a couple feet and it just kind of binds up, and you got a boulder size amount of frozen snow to now deal with. So a lot of people dealing with that, trying to get it situated before it freezes and becomes a real mess and an obstacle and an equipment breaker. Appointments today down in Annapolis that I had to go to, and seeing the snow stuck to everything outside here, and I figured thought I'd bring the camera and slap it in and hit record. Everything's still stuck to the trees. Yesterday was a lot worse. I wasn't down. Now I came up through this section after I took my wife to work in the morning, and it was plowed, but yeah, considering the storm we were in, it was pretty good condition considering. I thought I'd bring you along and hopefully enjoy the trip. It's going to be a nice day though. You can see the cloud covers pushing across. We're gonna get some nice sunny days for a few days here, and the snow's gonna stay because it's gonna be pretty cold. We haven't had a lot of wind, so in a couple days maybe it'll be worth uncovering a section up in front of the lake, in front of the cottage. Without all that wind, it might actually be decent ice. The ice around Christmas time and whatnot, it wasn't any good. There was so much snow on it and in amongst it. Anybody that knows much about that is it might as well be rotten ice. There's not much integrity to that. The air voids in amongst it with the snow and everything. It's I wouldn't trust it. Now that we've had a good significant at that point, we just fall back on the local ponds. We got a few local ponds over around Parker's Cove and Hillsburn, Laps Cove, up through on the Bay Shore, and kind of fall onto them for a few skates, but public skating at the arena is always nice, but nothing compares to having a nice skate on a lake, frozen lake in the middle of winter. I don't think you can really top that. Although I've seen some stuff in like northern New Brunswick, Quebec, out in Ontario, where they've made skating paths through the woods. I'm very intrigued. I'd kind of like to do something like that. I've seen one where they had designed, it's like it's a retired Zamboni, an old tractor from like an old hockey barn, and it's going through the trails, and it's frozen, and they're grooming the trails. They're grooming the skate trail for people to skate through the woods. You couldn't even justify the labor for that around here. You'd get an afternoon in and it would be melted. 2 more afternoons in, then it would melt again. Something like that would be awesome. Just to be able to experience. That sky's pretty. Cloud cover's getting lit up. It's almost got like a peach or a pink to it. A little bit of wind just shoving it out of the way. Just get out of here, it's saying. These people want a blue sky for a couple days. The snow's pretty, but yeah. That blue sky would have been nice last night when the Aurora Borealis was at its peak and going off. I guess it was the best it's been in 20 plus years. I stepped outside for a number of times last night, and wasn't much to be had. There was a lot of snow coming down through the nighttime. Excuse me. But I see lots of pictures from other places in Nova Scotia, especially up around Cape Breton. There was a lot of nice pictures from Cape Breton. I haven't seen, one of the people that I follow on Facebook, I haven't seen any posts from them. Usually a guy, Valley Eye Photography. He's usually got some nice sunrises and stuff over the valley, and he's usually got pictures of the aurora if he can catch. But I don't think much was being captured last night over the Annapolis Valley. And with the slush on the road right here, I don't think I'm gonna venture out to pass that guy. Just keep her between the mustard and the mayo. should create for a nice day for a walk with the dogs. Probably be just me and Abby if I record anything from the future. In the future, I think Cooper's times of having his walks, his hikes are slowing down. He's not really. We gotta pick our times for Cooper. We've had a few vet appointments, and he's got a couple little issues with arthritis in his back and his spine, and he's getting hard of hearing. What we thought was more selective than was a little bit of selective hearing has turned out that it's not as much selective hearing as we thought. The age is starting to get to where it's doing its thing, and his body is just starting to slow down a bit, and we've just got to make the adjustments for that. So we'll have to take Koopy for his little walks. A little bit more calmer walks, maybe a little shorter. I'll still try to capture memories like I have, or have been, but just sadly his walks in the field in the snow and stuff are gonna slow down, and we're just gonna have to pick better times and better places. And that'll just be that. But Abby, she still wants to go out, and she'll still be able to go out. It's kind of her heyday for her winter adventures is right now, and she's kind of in her prime. So that means doing separate walks every now and then so that they get to enjoy their own time, and not necessarily have to sacrifice her adventures for anything, Try to do the best we can for him, and try to keep him as active as I can. And a little bit of dementia is the other thing. He's forgetting what some of the basic commands and whatnot mean, and yeah, it's just a lot of subtle but important little life changes are starting to happen for Cooper, and even more so why I'm so glad that I decided to break the camera out and record some of our little walks, even though we've only had a couple that I've published, but just glad that I got them. We've been walking down in that field for a long time. Yeah, it's shaping up to be a really nice day. A few clouds in the sky left. It's looking really pretty down Digby way. There's some real cumulus clouds down there, fluffy little pillows. I know they're not showing up on the camera because they're miles and miles away, but it's pretty nonetheless. it's in kind of centralized over the valley. It's almost like it's lost that uplifted shove from the south or from the North Mountain. Low tide in the Annapolis River. Known today. We don't need all of you, Mr. Sunshine, but we would like a little bit. I don't need to have my sun blinders on and my shades, but let's get rid of this overcast for a day or two. Make that deal, huh? I don't think Mother Nature's in the business of negotiating, but it doesn't stop me from trying, I guess. Well, we've made it to Annapolis. Yeah, I think I'll go for a walk maybe after my appointments. It's looking like a nice day. Too nice of a day to not do anything, so. And if I let it slip by, I'm just gonna I'll probably forgive myself, but it'll be a little bit. Snowfall in one of the oldest towns in the country. Was the original capital of the province at one time. And fun fact, I used to mow. I used to work for the Public Works. That was my first job. I started lobster fishing when I was like 12. And I lobster fished until I was 16. And then I worked for the Public Works in Annapolis for that summer, and the next summer I worked for the Upper Clements theme park. That was fun. I loved that job. I miss that job. And then I went back to lobster fishing. And I lobster fished for, wow, darn near the next 30 years. Yeah, it's looking nice up through here. But we're almost getting to my destination. So, thank you for coming along for the drive with me. Oh, this is beautiful up through here. I bet you out south towards Kedgie is absolutely stunning. Yeah. Thank you for coming along on the drive with me. Hopefully we catch you on the next one.